Okay, well, we are holding today on Daf Tzadik Hey Amud Aleph and the article 95A4. We're on the bottom right. The last two lines where it says Tanu Abanan, Tanu Abanan, Shlosha Koftela Him Haaretz. So last time we spoke about in the story of David Melech and Yishai Beno, and we said that when Avishai went to find David, he what's it called, had Kvitzis Aderech. He was able to quickly travel a lot of distance in a very short amount of time. The Rishonim debate how this works. Kitzas Haderech is Rashi and the Yad Ramah. Rashi seems to say that Kitzas Haderech works by the land contracting, meaning I'm walking regularly, and Hashem makes the land under me smaller, so I'm able to travel more of a distance. Whereas the Yad Ramah says that seems from my understanding, Yad Ramah, is that at least that the land is the same, but Hashem makes that makes the person, so to speak, go faster. So is it the person going faster, or is the land contractions? It seems to be Machlokas Rishonim how I understand Kvitzas Haderech. But now we're going to have three people at Kvitzas Haderech. Now there's more people at Kvitzas Haderech, but most of them came with groups. Sanhedrin is people that we saw that came in one day, 10 stops. They did 10 travels in one day. Bnei Yisrael did travels like the Meraglim did it in one day. Maybe we're talking about three individuals. Three Hakpitzas Haderech. Who are these three? Eliezer, Eved Abraham. So Eliezer, the servant of Abraham. Yaakov Avinu. V'Avishai ben Tzeruya. Right? So these three had Kitzaderech for them. Now, Avishai ben Tzeruya Hadamran. This is what we already said. We saw the story last year. Eliezer, the servant of Abraham. How do we know? It says Va'avo Hayom El Ha'ain. He came today to the spring. It was the day that he left. It's the day that he came to the spring. I saw interesting idea when it comes to Eliezer and why he was Zoicha to Kvitzas Derech. Some want to say that he took a mission that was an impossible mission. Okay, who's he going to find? One girl from Avraham Avinu's family. How is he going to know who they are? And a mission that he really wanted his own daughter, and he went above nature, so to speak, in accepting the mission and above nature of his own feelings. And because of that, and of course because of Zchut Avot, Zchut Avraham, so Yitzhak Avinu, he was Zoche to Kvitzas Haderech. Sometimes if you decide to go on a mission impossible, you get impossible powers that help you succeed in that mission. Okay, Yaakov Avinu and Yaakov Avinu. How we have Yaakov Avinu? Where is he at Kvitzas Haderech? So we have a pasuk that says in Parshas Vayetze, Yaakov Shava Vayelech Harona. Yaakov left Beersheba and he went to Harona. And then it says Vayivka b'makom vayalin sham kiva hashemesh. Okay, he encountered the place and he slept there because the sun went down. Now, where is this place? This place is the Har Moriah. This is the Bet El. This is where the Beit HaMikdash is going to be. And it says that he went from Beersheba to Harana. He got to Mesopotamia, Harana. And then he ends up being back in Bet El. How does this happen? You said he came to Haran already, which is outside of Eretz Yisrael. So when he came to Haran, he said, is it possible that I went past the place where my fathers had prayed? And I didn't pray there? Right? It seems to be that a place gets infused with the kedusha that happens in the place, right? If Avram reads like daven there, first of all, Avram must have realized that's a Malkum Kaddish to daven there, and B, their davening there made the place even more kedusha. Right? A lot of times, there's a reason why to daven where your father davens and daven where your grandfather daven. There's a kedusha, there's avot. In fact, if you think about it, in the Shemona Esrei, when we pray, we say Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. Right away, we want to connect to avot. It's not the prayer that I'm praying. This is the prayer that my parents pray, my grandparents pray, my great grandparents. Everyone prayed this prayer, Hashem. I'm not coming for myself anew. So he said, how can I have gone by and not pray there? He decides he's going to go back. Once he decides he's going to go back, right away, the earth contracted for him. And right away it says he encountered the place. So he's in Haran, he's not going to go back, he makes one step backwards, and he already ends up in Bethel, he ends up in Hamoria. The word Pegia also says something else. Ain't Pegia, El Tefillah. Pegia, Lashon of Pegia, is also a Lashon of davening. Shenemar va'ata al titpalel ba'ada amazem. Do not pray on behalf of these people. Va'al tisava adam rina tefillah. Hashem is talking to Yirmiyah. Va'al tifga bi, and he was Lashon of tifga, tifka, don't pray on their behalf to me, and tifka is a lashon of prayer. So it says vayifka b'makom means that Yaakov also davened in that place. Now there are a lot of lashonot of tefillah, and tifka is one of them. I don't have the difference right now of vayifka to something else, different type of tefillah. As Hashem, we will learn it in the future, and we will know the difference between tefillah, rina, ta'aka, na'aka, bitur, all these different modes of tefillah. I would recommend the sefer that I'm in the middle of myself, called Gates of Prayer by Rav Shimshon David Pincus, and he kind of goes through the different forms of tefillah. So this past Shabbat, we learned the tefillah, the source of tefillah for na'aka, which means like yelling and screaming. But tifka I did not get up to yet, so I cannot say what it is, but there definitely is a difference in regular tefillah. Okay, let's move on. I mean, the idea would be why did Yaakov even do Pigia, Tifka, where it's like that Sicha, and there's a different lashon for Abraham Avinu. You have to understand all that, but for another time. But Yalan Shem Kiva Hashemesh, the pasuk said, and the sun went. He slept there because the sun went down. But really, Yaakov davened there, and he wanted to go back. Wanted to go back to Haran, but Hashem said, "Tzaddik said, can it be that this righteous man has come to my house and he's going to leave without spending a night?" Hashem made the sun go down. Right? In the time of no lights, you cannot travel in the dark. This is what it means. The sun rose for Yaakov. You know what this means? That when Yaakov finished fighting with the angel of Esav, it says that the sun came up. What? The sun came only for him? It came for all the world. No, same idea. Is that just when it went down for him, it went down for the whole world. It went down early that day. So let's say Shkia was supposed to be 7 o'clock. Yaakov was at Bet El at 4. So Hashem didn't want him to leave, so Hashem made it go down 3 hours earlier. And then when it says he finished fighting Esav's angel, it went up. Those 3 hours that it went down early last time, it went up for Yaakov 3 hours early. And the reason is because the sun gives healing properties, healing powers, and it would help Yaakov heal after his fight with the angel. Okay. Now, we had in the story that when Avishai tried to save David, he said, "How'd you get into this mess?" And David said, "Because I had Hashem told me, how would I pay for the disaster, the massacre that happened in Nov Era Kohanim?" He said, "Either me or my children." I said, "Let it come to me and not my children." So Avishai said, "David, no, you have to change it. You have to daven and happen to your children." So where did it happen? Did it happen to David's children? When did we have it that David's children ended up being almost obliterated? Or they got destroyed. How do we have this? Okay, so there was a king, Achaziah, and he was assassinated. And at that point, he was assassinated by the northern kingdom, by the Jews of the north. And when he died, the line of Shlomo HaMelech, they had some male, but they were all boys, and they were young. And Atalia didn't want to, she wanted basically to get power for herself. So she went on a killing spree. And she ended up killing all the little baby boys from the line of Shlomo HaMelech, from King Achaziah. And her own son's kids, and other relatives that were from Shlomo Melech. She killed them all. Now, Achaziah's sister Yehosheva, she saved one of the babies, one of the son of Achaziah's. His name was Yoash. So she saved Yoash from his own grandmother, and she hid him above the Heichal, and he was there for a couple of years until they took over and they assassinated Natalia and put back the Davidic kingdom. So there there's a pasuk that Natalia got up and she killed. It calls there Hamlacha. She killed all the baby boys. That could have been the future king. The Gemara says, wait, but that didn't happen. Yoash survived. So she didn't end up killing everyone. You know why that is? Really connected Mida. Because when Nov Erakonim fell and everyone was killed, one survived. Eviatar. And since Eviatar survived, Hashem allowed one survivor of David Melech's dynasty, and it was Yoash. If Eviatar did not survive the massacre in Nov Erakonim, nothing would have been able to survive from David Melech's dynasty and progeny. Everything would have been killed out. The only reason why Yehosheva was able to save Yoash from Atalia was because Evyatar survived the massacre of Nov Ir HaKohanim. Amr Yehuda Amarav. Okay, now we're going back to the story of Sanhedrin and Chizkiah. So Ba'aleim Sanhedrin Rasha. When Sanhedrin came, how did he come with? Barba'im v'hamisha elif ish b'nei melachim yoshrim b'kronot shel zahav. He came with 45,000 princes, seated in golden chariots. V'imahen shuglonot v'zonot. And he brought princesses, and he brought zonot. He brought a lot of females. And the Ben Yehuda says, why he brought females? Is in order to show Klai, so we're not even scared of your army. We even bring defenseless females. Okay? And he brought the 80,000 mighty warriors in coats of mail, which is very heavy and not practical for war. But again, he brought them to say, hey, we were in the wrong gear, and still we're not scared of you. We're coming. And 60,000 swordsmen running before him. And the rest were the cavalry. Basically, a lot of soldiers. The same is true when it came to Avram. He had a lot of soldiers against him when he was fighting to get Lot back. He didn't live in Gog and Magog. And the same is to be true when Gog and Magog, with so many people that would come to fight against the Jews in the war of Gog and Magog. And it was taught in the Braita. Orech machaneu arba meot parseh. It was 400 parsot. The length of the camp of the army was 400 parsot. If you look at note 19, it breaks it down in today's, in modern terms, 400 parsot would equal approximately 1,000 miles. 1,000 miles of soldiers coming to fight against a tiny Jerusalem. Okay? And just the horses' necks were 40 parsot. Sach machaneu, the whole camp, 260 ribu alafim hasir had. It was 2.6 billion people that came to fight the Jews in the end of the day. Minus one. Okay? 2.6 billion people. That's a large number. Okay? What does it mean missing one? Does it mean missing 100,000? Or chaser chad alafa? Or meaning 1,000? Or chaser mea 100? Or chaser chad or minus one? What does it mean? Where it says teku. Someone actually said a very nice shot in the class. Said chaser chad means he came without the echad. Who's the echad? Echad miudea. Echad lokesh prime v'aretz. So they came without Hashem. You can come with 2.6 billion people, right? But in the end of the day, if Hashem's not with you, your armies can't do anything at all. I say again, there were so many people at that time. We now got to 8 billion. Right? Those are the people who came to fight. I don't know how many people were in the world, but they 2.6 billion people came just to fight the Jewish people. Yeah, insane. Okay, Tana. Rishonim. Okay, so when they're going in, the Assyrian army, so the army, they go through the Jordan River. It says the bright Tana. Rishonim avru bastehi. First ones crossed swimming. Shnema Halav Yehuda Shataf Avar. They came in swimming. Imsaim avru bekoma. The second ones came in standing straight. Shnema Antza Variagia. Okay, will reach to the neck. Achronim Helu Afa Baraglehim. Whereas the last ones, when they came in, they made the dust of their feet across the Jordan. What is it saying here? Saying that when the first group of soldiers went through the Yarden, their clothing and other things absorbed the water. By the time that they came out, half the Jordan wasn't there anymore. The second ones were able to walk in there already. There was still water. By the time the third group came in, there was no more water left in the Jordan at all. Everything was extracted as the other people went through. And therefore, they were able to make dust come up from their feet as they were walking through the riverbed of the Jordan. And it's written, it says that the Malach of Hashem came down and killed 185,000 of the camp of Assyria. So if you told me there were 2.6 billion, now you tell me only 185,000 were killed by the Malach. So yeah, just kill the commanders, the generals, the big people. On Ravashi, razon. It says with the fat ones. What does it mean? The fat ones meaning the commanders, the fancy pants people, right? The generals. That's the ones you hit. You hit the head of the snake, the rest of the snake falls apart. Also, if you have a pasuk in Divrei Yomim that reviews the story and says Vishlach Hashem Malach by Ched Kol Gibor Chayil, Benagid V'Sar Machane. It says there Gibor Chayil, Nagid Sar Machane, princes, generals. Right, so you see that 185,000 were just the generals, and there were more people there. What did the angels strike these 185,000 generals with? Vayad hikam. He hit them with the hand. Shnemar, as it says in Oz Yosher, Yad Gedolab, Hayad, the special hand. Hayad, the hand that would give rebuke and punish Sanhedrin. Sure, man. Be'etzba hikam. Hashem hit them with the finger. Shnemar, vayomru achartumim paro. Tzva Elohim he. It's the finger of God. He etzba shakla lepera misanchev. The same finger that was destined to punish Sanhedrin. Rabbi Eliezer ben Noshe Rabbi Yossi Agdili Omer, Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu Gabriel, Magalcha netusha. Is your sword sharpened? Are you ready to go fight the Assyrian army? My sword is ready for this miracle from the 6 days of Bereshit. We have to take a second here for this answer of Gabriel Hamalach. He says, it's already ready from the 6 days of Bereshit. So based on this, the Maharsha, Rambam as well, and Shimon Brokim explain how miracles work. Is a miracle an occurrence that happens right now, meaning that really something was supposed to go a different way, now a miracle comes and changes it? Or, says the Maharsha and the Rambam, is that a miracle is actually something that was already put into place during the times of creation, during the 6 days of creation, right? As it says over here, the Gabriel Malach says, I'm ready for this miracle. Why? My sword isn't ready since Shishi Yemei Bereshit for this miracle. A lot of times we find that it says the Chamor, that the Pi'aton, the donkey that spoke to Bilam, the mouth was created in the 6 days of Bereshit. The earth that opened up to swallow Korach was already 6 days of Bereshit, right? Because everything that came into this world was created then. Even miracles, but later on, what seems to miracles us are actually part of the natural order of the events of the world, because it was already The miracles were already created for future time in the Sheshet Yimei Bereshit. It's interesting, however, from the Marsha, this Gemara from these words. Okay. Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Oto HaPerek Zman Bishul Peot Haya. Shimon ben Yochai says, listen, during that time was really the time of the fruits getting ripened. Anakash Baruch Hu. So Akash Baruch Hu said to Malach Gabriel, when you go out to ripen the perot, so apparently Malach Gabriel is in charge of ripening the fruits. He's a keklahem. While you're doing that, also hit the Assyrians, hit the Sanhedrin Zarmish. Nemar, midei avro yikach etchem. When Sebastian is truly understood, it should inspire shared terror. Meaning, you're doing it as a side job, offhandedly, right? As Malach Gabriel is going to ripen the fruit. When you have an enemy and you're passing by his territory next to him, you better make yourself known that you are there and that you're not scared. All right, you shouldn't let them know. You shouldn't be fearful of them, because then they'll take advantage. You show them you're not scared of them, they'll be scared. Sounds like Gabriel Malach breathe into their nostrils and they die. How did he kill them? Kapayim. He clapped his hands and they died. Akek chapin el kapin v'ani choti hamati. Yitzchak Nafcha Omer Oznaim gila lahem. Gabriel Amalek opened their ears that they should hear what? V'shamu shira mipi hayot v'metu. They heard it from the angels called the hayot. The highest of the 10 levels of the angels is the hayot, says the Rambam. And they heard their singing, which is a very holy and lofty singing. And if you're not on that level of Kedusha, it's going to be detrimental to you. And so since they weren't ready to hear it, and now they heard it, they died. Shinema, Natsu Gohim. Okay, based on this understanding, they want to give a different shot until what we say on Pesach. We say on Shvi Pesach that as the Mitzrayim were drowning in the Yamsuf, the Malachim wanted to sing Shira. And Hashem says, no, you can't sing Shira because my handiwork is drowning. Right? So we always understood that Hashem said, listen, the Jews need to sing because it's happening to them a miracle. But you angels, my creations, they're dying. I don't want you to sing. But they give another shot now, based on this Gemara, saying that the Malachim wanted to sing Shira, and they wanted to kill the Mitzrayim through their Shira. And Hashem said, no. You can't kill them through Shira. You can't open their ears so they can hear the Shira and die. We don't want to kill them through singing this time. Why? Because Midah Keneged Midah. They put my handiwork and they drowned my handiwork, meaning that they drowned the Jewish baby boys. Okay? So Midah Keneged Midah, we have to punish them through the Yamsuf. And Shira won't work over here, although Shira does kill. Singing kills if you're not ready to hear it from such holiness. But in this case, says Hashem, no Shira, because I need to kill them Midah Keneged Midah with the Yamsuf. It's an interesting twist to that understanding. Okay? Now, the Gemara says, "V'chamo nishtayer mihem." And how many soldiers survived? Avamar Asar, Rav says 10. Shnemar, it says in Yeshaya, Ushar etz ya'aro mispariyu, and the remnant of the trees of his forest shall be few. That's Assyria. V'nar yichtevam, and a child can write it. Kamana yachol lichtav. What number can the child write? Asara, he can write 10. Why? What's 10? 10 is a yud. Yud is a simple line on a paper. In fact, even when you start learning how to make an aleph, the first part of the aleph is a yud. So a child will be able to write a yud, and so the pasuk says that will be what's left over. But a child can write. It means 10 people from Sanhedrin were left over. Shmuel Amar Tisha. Shmuel says no, there were only 9. Shnemar v'nishar bo olalot. They were left single, right, lone grapes, and usually 10 is a unit. So there were less than 10. There were 9. It says 5 or 4 or 5 in its branches. 4 and 5 is 9. Sure, the Yosef said, yeah, but it says it's arba'os, it's 14. Shnemar, shnayim u'shosha, it says 2 or 3, and then it says arba v'chamisha, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 14. There were 14 left over. Yochanan Chamisha, there were only 5. Sancheriv, Ushnei banav, Sancheriv and his 2 children. Nebuchadnezzar, Unvuzradan. Nebuchadnezzar and Nebuzaradan. Those were the 5 individuals that survived. Nebuzaradan Gemara. Nebuzaradan, we have a Gemara, we have a tradition, Misorah. Nebuchadnezzar dichtiv verava de revi adamai levar Elohim vilav dechazeh mana havayada. It says Nebuchadnezzar during the episode of Chanem Shabbat which you already saw, and he says, "Oh, I see 4 people walking around in the fiery furnace, and one of them looks like an angel." How do you know one of them is an angel? Because it must be that he saw an angel during the time of Sanherib's army being destroyed. He was there and he saw it. That's how he knew what an angel was. Sanherib ushnei banav, Sanherib and his 2 children. Dichtiv he who משתחווה בבית נשרוך אלוהיו ועד המלך ושרי banav hikuhu v'charev. That his sons, Sanherib's children, Adramelech and Saratzar, they killed their father Sanherib with a sword while he was praying in the Nisroch, to Nisroch, his god. So now the Gemara is going to give us a story based on a pasuk. And the story is a little bit hard to understand because it's chas shalom chas to think that Hashem can take an image of a person. Hashem is above and beyond. Hashem can make the person have a dream that he thinks he sees something, and it could be that this was the case over here, that Hashem, when it says that Hashem came in the disguise of a man, that it wasn't actually Hashem disguised as a man, but rather it was all in a dream. It was in a dream of that he saw this. That's the simplest way to understand this. Or it was a malach, or it was something that else that happened. It wasn't actually God that did this. Okay, so let's take a look at this story. Arebo, ilmale mikra katuv yef shalom rov. We wouldn't say in the pasuk. We never say such a thing. Dichtiv v'homo b'yomo on that day yigalach Adonai b'ta'ar hasechira be'evrei nahar. That day the Lord will shave with a hired razor those who dwell on the other side of the river. The Melech Ashur, who the king of Assyria, Drosh v'sa'ar ha'regalayim v'gam tazakan tispeh. The head of the hair of the head, and the head of the hair on the legs, and the beard will also be destroyed. What is going on here? So Ata Kuchabnihu Vidamele Kigavrasava. Hashem came and made it that an image of an elderly man approached Sanherib. Amarle, he told Sanherib, this is after his army got defeated. Amarle, he azlat the gabe malchem mizracha umarav, the aitzitithu live naihu uktal tinhu. You're going to go back to your kingdom. They're going to see you, the kings of the east and the west, whose princes, whose children you took to Jerusalem to fight, and they're all dead now. My amarklahu. What are you going to be able to tell them? They're going to say, "Where's my son?" All the kings that you took their sons to go with you. What are you going to tell them? They're going to kill you for this. Amalei, Sanherib said, truth is, I have this fear. I don't know what to do. So Amalei, Sanherib said to this image, what then shall I do? So Hashem says, Amalei Zil. Hashem said, go, v'shani nafshach. Go and get yourself a disguise. V'ma ishanit. How am I going to disguise myself? Hashem said to him, Amalei Zil ateli mespara. Go and bring scissors to me. Ve'igzayach ana, and I will shave you. Where should I get scissors from? Says Sanherib. Go to that house and get. He goes in, he finds a pair of scissors. He wants to leave. All of a sudden, angels come. Look like men. And they're grinding palm kernels. So he sees them. He says, I'm going to take these scissors. He said to him, before you take it, you got to grind a measure of palm kernels. And then we'll give it to you. He grinds a measure of palm kernels. They give him the scissors. By the time he gets back to this image of Hashem, the image that Hashem made for him of a man, it got dark. Hashem says to him, go get me a fire. He went to get the fire. As he got the fire, he's starting to blow it to make it bigger. a flame caught hold of his beard, and it started to burn his beard. So in the end, his beard was already burnt off. So whatever was left, he shaved it, and then he ended up shaving his head off as well. And now he looked entirely different. Amru, that's what it says. His beard shall be destroyed. You find somebody guy that you can make fun of, and he lets you even set his beard on fire, then you can keep making fun of him because he's never going to stop you, and you'll never get you'll never finish getting a laugh from the guy. Azal ashkach deba metevuata de Noach. Then all of a sudden, Sanhedrin found a plank from the remains of Noah's ark. Omar, Hainu laha rabba deshezeve lenoach mitufana. This is the plank, is the God that saved Noah from the flood. All right, so he thinks that the wood is a God. Okay. Note number 5 on page 96A1. The Gemara alludes to the idea that Sanhedrin saw himself as another Noah, a sole survivor of a catastrophe, which in Sanhedrin's case was the destruction of his entire camp. That's from the Maharal. The plank of Noah's ark reminded him of the deity that had saved Noah, and he sought to appropriate it. He wanted to use it for himself. But what do you do? Omar, he said to this plank of wood, who gave no matzlach, I'll offer my 2 sons as a sacrifice before you. Just like Noah brought korbanot, I'm also going to bring korbanot. Now, he didn't know that his 2 children were next to him. The 2 children were there, and they heard it, so they ended up killing their father instead. He's not going to kill us. Okay, so you got a very, very interesting story over here. Now, really have to understand a little bit about this. Let me just give me 1 second. All right, this is further down. 1 second, was I? Okay. So we have here this whole story, and okay. So the Minchat Ani, he gives a very interesting idea to this whole story. He says, really, what the story is an explanation of how Shemaya v'Avtalion, 2 of the great Jewish sages, we know, come from Sanhedrin. How did it happen? So apparently, this whole episode was really Hashem giving Sanhedrin the opportunity to do tshuva, and he did somewhat of a tshuva. Right? One of the things, when you do tshuva, you have to change who you are. And here, Sanhedrin changed his appearance. Right? He was no longer the old Sanhedrin. He changed his appearance. He became a new guy. In fact, Mechanani says he had regret that he killed so many people for so long for no reason. Okay, the scissors helped shave off the vanity. He went into the house of angels. This is the Torah house. The fire was the fire of Torah that burned him, right? That changed him. And due to this change, he was able to come out from him, Shemaya v'Avtalion. The Ben Yoyada says the similar idea. Sanhedrin's head and beard were shaved, and he instructed to grind date pits to facilitate the emergence of the souls of his descendants, Shemai and Avtalion. The grinding of the pits symbolized breaking Sanhedrin's shell of evil and impurity, the klipa, in which these 2 holy souls were trapped. So, so much so Hashem gives the opportunity to goyim to do tshuva. Then, of course, how much more so Hashem is waiting and gives the Jewish people the opportunity to always do tshuva. Okay, that's a little idea from the Menu Yada and the Minchat Ani. Let's move on to a little bit more. Right. Okay, a little bit more. V'yichalek alehem laila hu ba'avadam vayakem. By Abraham Avinu, it says at night he and his servants deployed against them and struck them. Yochanan, Oto Malach shezamin lo Abraham laila shemo. The angel who was helping Abraham name was Lila. There's an angel called Lila. Shnemer v'halayla amar horei gaver. Just like it says in Eo, that the night called out and said a male child was conceived. Apparently, there is an angel called Lila that helped Abraham, and it's the same angel that says who conceived what at night. Okay. Rabbi Yitzchak Navcha Amar Sha'asa imo ma'aseh Lila. That Lila here means that night acts were performed in the behalf of Abraham. Nemar min shemaim nechamu kochavim misilotem nechamu am sisra. Just like by the times of Sisra, Devorah and Barak, Hashem helped fight them off using the stars. So same thing with Abraham, the stars will help to be used to fight them. The words of Yitzchak Navcha are better than the child of the Navcha, which is a blacksmith, meaning Rabbi Yochanan was a child of a blacksmith. The Navcha's words, Yitzchak Navcha's words are better. Okay. And it says Abraham was able to follow them until done. When he came to the place of dawn, all of a sudden his koach went away. Why? Because he saw in the future his children would be doing with the zara there. And remember, we spoke about many times that the timeline, the way we see the timeline, past, present, and future, that's the way we see it. But for God, and in Shemaim, all time is happening at the same time. Past, present, future is at the same exact moment. So Abraham Avinu, who is able to tap into greater spiritual powers, when he gets to done, he sees that this is a place in the future of idol worship. And its effect later on already affect him then. Okay? Right. When Yeravam built the Avodah Zarah, he put one in done. The truth is, the Muchanetzer also, he couldn't become powerful until he came to done. Right? When they came to done, that's when the horses started snorting. That's when he got his power, because of the Avodah Zarah that was done there, gave power to the enemy. And with this ma'amar, we're going to end. Even though Yehuda ben Mitera from Nitzvin sent the following, he's haru b'zakan, be careful with a older guy who learned Torah, now he forgot it involuntarily. He got sick, business, whatever it is. You have to be careful. You still have to give them respect. The same way the broken tablets are in the Aron, right? You have to give them respect. And when you shech, make sure you shech the veridin. This is the main blood vessel of the neck, located on either side of the trachea. Note 17. Okay, make sure to shech that as well, according to Yehuda. And be careful. You have to be careful with the children of Amei Aretz, because from them comes Torah. A lot of times, if Amei Aretz respects Torah, even though he doesn't have Torah, can't learn, he doesn't know, but he respects Torah, and he tells his children Torah is great. The children become great Jews. But a lot of times, you can even have Hamnei Chachamim, and they don't respect the Torah, or they make it not sweet for the children. They don't follow. But even if Amei Haaretz, the children of Amei Haaretz become Torah scholars, we have to tell them something. We have to tell them it's not you that became a Talmid Chacham. Don't think you're better than your father. Oh, your father is Amei Haaretz and you were a Talmid Chacham. No. Truth is, you only became a Talmid Chacham because of your father, because he respected Torah, because he did this thing. Many others says we see this from Sanhedrin, right? Shema B'Avtal, you can think, oh, we became gay and we became Torah scholars. You say no. Remember, Sanhedrin did this somewhat of a tshuva, and because of that, Shemai V'Avtalion came out. So, you have to know where you are coming from. Okay, we'll end off over here with Hashem. Next week we will continue from this spot. Yashar Koach. Shavua Tov.
Zayim